Hey everybody, today's words to live by are: boredom is at the root of most evils. And that's a quote from Soren Kierkegaard. And it sort of plays along with, I think, what a lot of us say from time to time is like, you've got too much time on your hands. Like, how could you possibly dream this up? Or why did you do that? It must be because you're bored and you have too much time on your hands. So you sort of sit around and think about ways to stay busy, and often you end up in a place that's not good or positive or productive. So Kierkegaard saw boredom as a restless state. So he didn't see it as a state where like nothing was happening and people were just sort of sitting on their hands and just looking around going like I have nothing to do, or he didn't see it as like you're on vacation and you're lying on a beach with nothing to do. He saw it as a restless state of mind where we're chasing distractions to fill the void of time, and we're not chasing things that give us meaning or are aligned with what our purpose is or that which makes us feel good even. So today, a good example, the endless scroll on the phone. We're sitting around and we're bored, and it's like, oh, I'll just scroll for 2 hours. And, I think a lot of people are guilty of that, including myself. But it's this state of mind where you're trying to fill every quiet moment just to avoid being alone with your thoughts. And Kierkegaard's quote sort of urges us to not avoid the stillness, because when we avoid that stillness, we tend to make like impulsive choices that aren't good for us. It kind of drifts us away from the things that really matter to us because we're sort of mindless. We're just kind of blankly, scrolling on our phone or doing any number of things that sort of take us away from what we're supposed to be doing. So in times of stillness, it's great to embrace sort of a new purpose, or make sure that you're doing something that's productive and sort of aligned in a positive sort of way. And I'll tell you exactly when Kierkegaard's quote was one that I used, and it was a huge help to me. And I think most of you probably will remember this time period, but it was in 2020 at the beginning of COVID. And in March of 2020, I was working as a consultant for a ski resort, and I remember the day that everything shut down in March, and then subsequent weeks go by where everything is shut down and there's uncertainty and nobody really knows the truth of what's going on. And we just know, we hear reports about lots of people dying, and I think everybody knows somebody that was impacted by COVID in a negative way. And so it was really easy, with a lot of time on your hands, to sort of think about ways to fill the time, and a lot of times it wasn't great trains of thought that were coming into your mind because it was such a negative sort of time in our history, right? And so for me, I remembered this quote and it sort of snapped me into gear. And I'll tell you what happened was it led me to write and publish my second book. So in 2011, I published my first book. At the time, I thought it was going to be sort of, a one and done, not sure how many more I was going to write after that. Then COVID hit, and it sort of, the time sort of gave me space to say, I have a lot that I want to write, and a lot that I think I want to tell people and to communicate to an audience. And it led to my second book, self-published, third book, self-published, and it just sort of set me down the path that I'm still living today, 5 years later. And so it was this mindfulness to not let that state of mind of boredom and emotional restlessness not set in too much. And it was really helpful to me. And I'm so glad that I thought of Kierkegaard's wisdom right at that time, because it was really difficult, and it was difficult on a lot of people, especially those who lost loved ones. And so it was just so useful. So I hope that you can sort of take some piece of wisdom from this the next time you sort of feel that boredom come in and you're wondering what it is and why you feel restless and why you're doom scrolling on this thing. And hopefully, you can sort of stop it and snap into gear properly from it. So if you found this helpful and enjoyable, please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you all again very soon.